Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. I'm so glad, I'm so excited that you guys have come back to spend your time with me because you could be anywhere else but you are here. So, get the show on the road. Today, we're going to be doing a true crime story. This one is very saddening. Well, I feel like they're all sad as hell, but some of them just like hit home. Well, not hit home, but some of them just, hit you a little bit harder than others. But yeah, it's definitely a doozy for you. And I chose this set to do it with because this set is pretty easy, self-explanatory, nothing too crazy, nothing too hard. I might talk you through the little cutout designs I did, but even then they were still super easy. So yeah. But before we get into the true crime story, we need you to subscribe, like the video, or you can dislike it. Don't make me, don't, never mind. All publicity is good publicity. So yeah, like or dislike it. Comment, share the video, and hit the notification bell. But I don't know why I had that long awkward pause. Weird. But yeah, let's get into the video. Okay, guys, this true crime story takes place in a town or a city. I think it was pretty small, so we're gonna call it a town, called Bowling Green, Kentucky, 2010. And so there's this girl named Jamie Stice, and she has a boyfriend named James, and she's 21 years old, and they find out that they're pregnant. So she's excited. He's, excited as well. And she's just like, I'm excited, but I'm kind of scared to tell my mom. And she's like, just let me tell her because, we don't know how she's going to react. So she tells her mom. Her mom is quite excited. He seemed kind of scared because they were young and they were a little bit unstable, but she was still happy. Like, she wasn't the type of mom that was like, you can't afford a baby, even though they really couldn't. But she didn't say anything like that. She was like, if you're happy with it, I'm happy with it, and we're going to do whatever we can to take care of the baby and help y'all, as you guys grow into developing parents. So she tells her friends online, and, this is like, it's like 2010, so Facebook is hot, you know what I'm saying? This is back when I had a Facebook around this time. I remember just telling my entire move. Like, walking down the stairs, puts it on Facebook. Washing my clothes, so bored, puts it on Facebook. Like, it was around that time people, told their entire day. And it was just, putting that shit on Facebook. So, that's what she did. She told everybody she was pregnant on Facebook and stuff like that. And, she was kind of bored, so that was just kind of like her outlet. And, she kind of grew up, She had an okay life, but they were on the poor side. I would say middle low class. I wouldn't say just dirt poor, but middle low class. And her dad left when she was 2, and her mom got remarried and stuff like that. But for the most part, they were kind of living paycheck to paycheck. It was a struggle, so she was determined to go to college and become a social worker because she didn't want her kid to grow up the same way she did. And we can always agree to that. And a lot of people want their kids to have a better life than they did, so the cycle will continue. So by the time you have a grandkid, they're living really nice life, you know what I mean, they're living really nice lives and stuff. That's what most people say. They want their kids to have a better life than they did. Even if you had a life of, you were, middle upper class, you still want your child to have a better life than you did. There's nothing wrong with it. I admire that. So, like I said, she's a good person. She wants more out of life. Her boyfriend, everybody said that he was a good guy. You know what I'm saying? He was a good, okay guy. Just couldn't hold down a job. And, that's fine and all when you're younger. Because he was 23. And, I feel like from 18 to 23, that's fine when you're, like I said, when you're younger, because, in between jobs or you're in school. Sometimes you may not be doing anything, but when a child comes into play, it's time to cut all of it out. Like, there's no, oh, can't find a job. Like, it's like you have to be on it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's people are lenient with it when you're younger, but when you're creating a kid, it's like, oh, okay, you kind of have to get with the program. And plus, he already had a kid that he had to take care of from a previous relationship. So it's just like, you gotta make something happen. You know what I'm saying? You had a baby on the way. You already got a previous son. We gotta make it happen because we can't be, whatever. Okay, so by the time, let's say 2011 spring hits, she's bigger. She's bigger, and of course, she's, not in the early stages of pregnancy anymore. She's close to having the baby. Around 6 or 7 months or so, and she can't do as much because of her pregnancy. So, like I said, she's bigger, so she can't just do as much as she used to. And she notices that James becomes more distant, like he wants to go out more. He wants to do this and that more. And she was just like frustrated. And you got to think about it. Pregnant, young, you know what I'm saying? Young is already a thing in itself. You don't really know how to deal with your emotions. Then you add a pregnancy on top. It's just like recipe for disaster. So, like I said, she's young, pregnant. He's young, pregnant, basically, and he's still like, he's going out with his friends and stuff like that. And she seemed to, like, how when you're talking to your significant other and stuff like that, especially when you're pregnant, you're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna get this for the baby, we're gonna get this, we're gonna get that. And a lot of the things you don't really mean that you're gonna get, or you may not. I'm not gonna say it really mean that you don't get, but you may not. It may not be realistic to get, but you just are so excited about having this baby, especially with your first baby. You're really excited. And he was just like, we can't afford that, this, that, and the third. And she was like, that's fine, but we can at least, dream and, just talk about stuff. And he just, like I said, was becoming very distant, and it made her turn more to social media. And you know how, like, especially women, you tell your entire business, like, not entire business, how I want to word it, like, especially when you're young, because I remember doing that shit too. Like, you get into it with your significant other, and you're just like, oh, this man gets on my damn nerves. He always want to go out. He ain't shit, and da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? People did that when they were younger. And she was young, so whenever they had to fight, she would turn to Facebook, and, Facebook would kind of know their business. And she was just bored. She wanted his support, and she cried a lot because she would think about, dang, am I going to have to do this myself? Am I going to have to raise this kid by myself? Because I don't want to do that. I don't want to struggle. I want a family, which is very understandable. Like, what person doesn't want a family, especially when you start off with your significant other, you know what I'm saying, with the baby's father. You start off with that person, so of course you're going to want to grow with that person. It's different if y'all weren't together at first and y'all just had a baby, or y'all got pregnant. It was different for them. So, like I said, she's bored. She wants his companionship. So she just, starts getting on Facebook all the time and just really involved with social media. Then, one bright day, she gets a message from basically her worst nightmare. But we're not gonna go there yet. Just hold up. Just hold your horses. Okay, she gets a message from this person. And back in the day, I feel like, especially Facebook, people mostly added people that they knew. Now, you may add somebody you don't even know them, ain't never seen them a day in your life. Y'all may have a few friends together, but back in the day, that was like 11 years ago, but it's still, a decade. But, back in the day, like, you didn't add people that you didn't know, you know what I'm saying? You didn't talk to people that you didn't know. Like, that was for, like, MySpace or something. But, like, on your Facebook, it was quite personal. And, you told your everyday life. And you only added family and friends. Or people who were, oh, this girl, we have mutual friends. We have, like, 115 mutual friends. You know what I'm saying? you didn't add people that you didn't know or weren't mutual friends or haven't seen them around. So with this girl, the girl messaged her. She didn't know who it was, but her family said that she was very, inviting and super sweet, super nice. So she just started talking to her. And, red flag number one. Especially like back then, like you didn't talk to other girls you didn't know. And then like, I don't know, I just feel like if a girl, like right now, if a woman messages me randomly on Facebook and just trying to strike up a conversation and it's not about anything, I'm going to be like, okay, like, what the hell do you want? Like, I had this lady message me. She was like, hey. And I'm like, hey. And, I have a couple businesses, so normally when women message me, it's about clothes or nails or sometimes makeup. And they say, hey, I'm looking for A da 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 da. Hey, I'm looking for A, B, and C. She just says, hey. And I'm just like, okay, hey. And she's like, how are you? And I'm like, I'm well. What's up? Like, like, why are we just having this random conversation like we just know each other? Like, this is how I feel about stuff. So I know if a random lady had to message me and been like, hey, how are you? I see that you're pregnant. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. And like, you don't even know me. Like, I probably wouldn't have replied. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have said anything because there's no reason to say anything rude or mean, but I definitely wouldn't have replied. I mean, like, girl, what the hell? Are you, like, weird? I just feel like it's very weird, but, like, I'm not as welcoming or inviting as she was. So, I mean, hey, that's just me. But I just know for a fact I would have been like, weirdo. Even if she did say she was pregnant, I just wouldn't have done that. But anywho, like I said, she's a very nice, inviting person, and she just saw the good in everybody, and she thought everybody was just nice like her, trusting like her. So the person speaks to her and just like, I'm Michelle Coy, and, well, no, I'm Kathy Michelle Coy, and I'm a cousin of, what's the girl name? I'm trying to think of the lady's name. Oh, she's like, I'm a family. She said she was a family friend cousin. I think the cousin name was Becca or something, but she's not really important to the story, but that's what she said her name was, that she was related to. And they knew Becca. Becca was, like I said, really close to the family. So they're like, oh, okay. So she tells her mom about it. She's like, oh, okay, yeah, we know Becca. We like Becca. Okay, cool beans. And then she then tells Jamie that, hey, girl, I'm pregnant too. This, that, and third. We can bond off that. And she found out that they live like, pretty close to each other. So, okay, let me stop. Okay, so I stopped to tell y'all what I'm doing right quick. So, this client wanted like I don't even want to call it a friendship because it wasn't really a friendship. It was just kind of like, a cutout, and it was like rounded, and it wasn't really it wasn't like deep like how a French is, but it wasn't like straight across either. But I just cut it out with a nail tip because I didn't want to get my cutter out. But I would never use a nail tip again, and I do not advise you using a nail tip. I know I saw like some tech, I don't remember who it was, using a nail tip, and they made it look so easy, but it was terrible. Like, don't ever use a nail tip. I mean, I guess if you're doing this simple little cutout, then it's fine. But don't ever use a nail tip because it was so hard. And I was just like, what the fuck? So, yeah, I'm going to get back into the story. I just had to pop in and tell y'all that because I'm pretty sure y'all was like, what is she doing with this nail tip? What is she doing cutting off? What the hell? So, just telling you that. Okay, so like I said, Jamie is very, very lonely at this point. She really doesn't have any. Well, she has friends, but they all have lives. They can't just drop everything and just come hang out with her all the time. And, if you think about it, normal 21-year-olds that aren't pregnant or having a baby, they're with their friends a lot or they're working, you know what I'm saying? So this is what she wanted. And by this time, her and James were kind of like not even together. I'm pretty sure they still talk because of the baby, but they really weren't together. So like I said, she was bored. Didn't really have a whole lot of people to talk to. wanted, like, you know, some type of somebody that can understand what she's going through. And so that's why her and Kathy got, I want, you know, I almost called her Cunty Kathy, but I'm not even gonna do that. Anywho, this is why her and Kathy got so close, because Kathy told her she was pregnant, and they just had so many similarities together. And Kathy was like, you know, she didn't say that she was separated, but she made it seem like, you know, I can, you know, agree with you too, because my husband is away a lot on business because of his work. So, you know, it's like, I can agree with you that, you know, I miss my man being around. You know, I miss having someone to be there for me. So they agreed on that part. And so at this point, Jamie's mom and stepdad loses their house. And this is where Jamie was staying, because her and James didn't have anywhere to stay because they weren't stable enough to, you know, move out. So Jamie freaks out, tells Kathy, you know, like, oh, my stepdad and my mom are losing the house. And Jamie's just like, oh, girl, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can help y'all out. And she was like, you know, I know where you can get, you know, baby clothes for dirt cheap, and, you know, baby items and stuff for a low price, dirt cheap. You know what I'm saying? I can help you out. No worries. So for the first time, they meet. And, you know, I'm just saying, like, you know, I just, you know, I just feel like this all could have been avoided. But like I said, you know, some people are just so trusting, and you just can't trust everybody. You know what I'm saying? Especially, like, I just feel like that's just so weird. Like, somebody just randomly messages you, hey, girl, I see you pregnant. Like, ma'am, if you don't get the fuck out of my inbox. But anywho, so she meets her for the first time, and they instantly click, of course. So they instantly click, and they're talking, and Michelle, let's remember the name, Kathy notices, you know, that the way that Jamie is talking, you know, they're kind of down on their look. So she's just like, you know, you guys should have a baby shower. And she was like, no, I don't want to have a baby shower. We got too much going on. This and the third. She was like, no, I'll throw it for you. Like, you have to have a baby shower. And like, I understand that. I just feel like, you know, especially like if you're down on your luck, I feel like a baby shower is definitely a good idea. Because you're going to get gifts, you know what I'm saying? Especially for the kid. You're going to need that stuff. So she's like, I'm going to throw y'all a baby shower, period. I'm going to do that for y'all, whatever. And so her mom, Jamie's mom, says, you know, Kathy comes over a lot. And, you know, she said first it started off like every other week. Then it came like, you know, she would come like a couple times a week. Then she started coming every other day. Then it was every day. So they warmed up to her. They liked her. They thought she was so sweet. And they thought she was so nice. You know, she's so helpful and kind. But, you know, how I think about stuff, I feel like I overthink things anyway. But me, I would just be like, why are you being so nice? Why are you being so kind? Like, you don't even know me to be this kind. But it's just like how I am. I'm not, like I said, I'm not really a trusting person. I know it's not really a good thing, but I'm just always thinking, why are you doing this? Or what are you trying to do? You know what I'm saying? What is your end goal? What are you trying to get out of me or the situation? So, yeah. And like I said, she would help them. She came over more and more, and she would help them with rent and baby supplies and just constantly bringing little stuff over there. She paid the light bill and stuff like that. And I've just been like, you know, girl, thanks, but what you doing, you know? But hey, each his own. So time passes by, and they begin to get closer and closer, and it gets closer to Jamie's due date. And Jamie and Kathy are scheduled to deliver around the same time. The dates, not sure, but Jamie is due in like 5 weeks. Kathy is due around the same time. So on this particular day, they were going. Jamie said no. Kathy said she had a friend that had like a baby secondhand clothing store, and they were gonna go get some stuff because the store was closing. So they were gonna get it for like either nothing or super cheap, like pennies to the dime or whatever. So on this particular day, the mom said The mom said that Kathy had offered her a ride to the Social Security office, and she said, she got the ride, everything was fine. And she said once she got there, she dropped her off, and she said, this whatever we're about to do might take a little longer. And she said, so I'm going to go get Jamie, and I'm going to come back and get you. That's what she told Jamie's mom. So Jamie's mom said, okay, cool. But Jamie's mom didn't realize that whatever she was going to the Social Security office for, it was going to take longer than what she thought. So when she came out, of course, Kathy was nowhere to be found. And so let me give you a little bit about Kathy. One of Jamie's friends said her sister went to school with her, and she was kind of, a little bit awkward to herself. Didn't really have any friends, and one of the main reasons was because she was deaf in one ear. And, kids kind of really talked about her. And, she was just, an awkward person. Nothing really too crazy about her, because they really don't know who she is right now. So, she said that. And so, let's flip on back until right now. So, like I said, she drops Jamie's mom off. And then Jamie's mom left her keys and stuff in Kathy's car. So, Jamie's mom was like calling, and she answered. I was going to say she didn't answer, but she answered, and she said, hey, her mom was like Jenny or Jeannie, I think. She said, hey, Jeannie, I'm having my baby right now. I just went into labor unexpectedly, you know what I'm saying? Sorry about, making you wait, whoop-de-whoop. And she's like, that's fine, you know what I'm saying? You're having a baby, what the hell, you know what I'm saying? So, she calls, I think she said she called her cousin or something to come pick her up. Jamie's supposed to be at the house. She's knocking on the door. Jamie's nowhere to be found. But she's like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Jamie, normally, if Jamie leaves the house, she'll tell me, remind you, Jamie's still young, and she's pregnant. So, nothing wrong with telling her mom when she leaves the house. So, she's beating on the door. Still nothing. So, she ends up calling her husband, and she's like, can you come home and open the door? I think something may be wrong with Jamie, because she's not opening the door. I don't even know if she's there, but I would think that she's there, because where else would she be? Kathy said she went into labor, so I'm assuming that, they canceled their plans. So he comes home, lets her in. She's not in the house, because she freaked out, because she thought maybe she was in the house and couldn't, get to the door. So she's like, okay, where is she? So hours pass. Then Kathy texts her. It's like, hey, I had a boy, this, that, and the third. And she's like, I'm happy for you, but have you seen Jamie? She was like, I dropped her off at the house. I don't know where she is, but, I dropped her off. And she said, maybe her phone's dead. And she said, yeah, maybe you're right. So this whole time, Jeannie is freaking out. Jeannie's like, what the hell? She normally leaves me notes and stuff if she's going to be gone, but this is just not like her. So, let's jump back to Kathy. Cunty Kathy. She goes in. She goes into the hospital, and she says, I just had a home birth. I need you to look at me and my baby. Okay? So, they look at her, because then, they're just like, they rush, because they're just like, damn, she just had a home birth. We got to make sure the baby's okay. We got to make sure she's okay, especially with the bleeding. So, they look at her, and they're just like, no bleeding. That's odd. Ma'am, you didn't just have a baby. You're not even bleeding down there. There's no way in hell that you just had a baby. Then they go and look at the baby. The baby is a boy, and he was still attached to female organs, let alone his placenta. So he had the placenta attached to him, and he still had the uterus and ovaries attached to him. So they're just like, what the hell? Something not, 1 + 1 ain't equal to 2 around this motherfucker. Something going on. So they call the police without telling her. So the police comes, and the detective comes, and he's just like, Kathy, we know that's not your baby. Whose baby is it? She's like, no, it's my baby. Where's my baby? It's my baby, okay? And they're just like, sis, this is not your baby. Whose kid is this? We know it's not yours. You had to have cut this baby out of someone because, like, organs are still attached. You're not bleeding. Like, girl, whose baby is this? So she would not tell. So they go to her house. Come to find out, this broad was not even pregnant, which I'm pretty sure you guessed it. She was not even pregnant, and she was searching to find pregnant women on Facebook in her area. So it was between Jamie and 2 other women, and she just happened to choose Jamie. So boom, premeditated. They found like a box cutter. They call it a drywall cutter, but it's like a razor blade, super sharp. And that's the type of cutter that you will cut yourself, and you know, it's so sharp it'll cut you really quickly and deeply, especially if it's like a new one. You can get cut real deep real quick and you won't even know, especially like if you're like in distress or something, you know what I'm saying, because your adrenaline is pumping up. But you can get cut really deep and really quickly. So they saw that. They saw where she had Googled how to give a C-section and that crazy type of stuff. And she also bought a stun gun. So they're just like, okay, we have to go to these 3 women and see who, because it's between these 3 women. So we have to see. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I remember it's 2:30 a.m. Anywho, but she was like, you know, we have to see who this baby came from. It's one of these 3 women. So they go to each house, and then they go to Jamie's house, and Jamie's mom is there, and they're just like, where's Jamie? And she's just like, you know, I don't know. I haven't heard from her since like earlier this morning. So of course they put 2 and 2 together that, you know, it's Jamie's baby, and they do DNA testing and stuff like that. And when they sit her down for questioning, she's just like, no, I didn't do it. No, Ashley did it. Whoever the hell Ashley is, I don't know. No, Ashley did it. It wasn't me. And they're just like, girl, quit playing games. You know, you're finna go away from life. You're gonna get the death penalty if you keep playing games. So, like, what? Why? You know, she was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I did do it. And I'm just like, you know, girl, you are crazy as hell. You're gonna cut another human being out of another human being. Girl, you need your ass whooped. Anywho, so she confesses, and of course her mom is just distraught. And also they're just like, they're trying to make sure the baby is still okay, because if I'm not mistaken, I think she slit her throat first and then cut the baby out, because there was no way that she would have really gotten the baby out, honestly. Because I just feel like, unless she gave her some type of strong anesthetic, there was no way she could get the baby out without it being like a huge scuffle without her. You know what I'm saying? So she slit her throat first and then cut the baby out. And so the baby lost a little bit of oxygen. So they were trying to make sure the baby was going to be okay. Because a baby can lose oxygen for a short amount of time, and it could bring a whirlwind of complications throughout their life. So they were trying to make sure the baby was, okay. And so they're just like, where's Jamie? Where's the body? And they go into the woods, into like a wooded area. And she's just like, she tells one of the detectives, she's like, be ready. This is just basically tell them, like, get ready for what you're about to see, because it's pretty gruesome. So I'm just like, it's like, when criminals say stuff like that, it's just like, you know what the hell you're doing. Like, get ready, it's gruesome. Like, bitch, what? Like, I just feel like they should have. Anyway, they gonna go there. So, trial comes, and she pleads guilty, but mentally ill. But I honestly don't think they should have let that slide, because she knew exactly what she was doing. She knew what she was doing, and also, it was premeditated, like heavily premeditated. Like, you had 3 candidates. Like, you're not crazy, bitch. She was crazy, but you're not, like, no ma'am. And she did it because her and her husband had split up, and she wanted to get her husband back. So I'm like, girl, you know what I'm saying? Just what these women get for doing this crazy shit for men who don't even want them. But anywho, that's another story for another day. But I'm just like, you're doing all this for a man that you're not even with. Like, she wanted to get him back and just be like, hey, I just had a baby. Just our baby come back, whoop-de-whoop. Like, that's just ridiculous. You're going to take somebody's life for that. This doesn't make any sense to me. But she ended up getting life in jail. She did the mentally ill thing, so they wouldn't execute her. But if I was a judge, I would have been like, no, you're not crazy. You fine. And we gonna execute your ass, because that don't make no sense, because you killed somebody gruesomely, and also you could have killed that baby. Like, it's by the grace of God that the baby is still alive, or you, if not killed him, you could have made him have like huge complications that could have shortened his life. So I don't know. I'm glad I'm not a judge, because they would be like, she puts everybody on the death penalty. Like, no. Like, when you do stuff like that, I just feel like you're just deeply evil to even think to do something like that. It was just crazy. And her mom is raising the baby. And it's just like, her life was just gone for no reason whatsoever. She didn't do anything. She don't even know this girl, honestly. So she doesn't know you. So it's just like, why take somebody's life? That baby is not, like, it's not even, adopt a kid. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know. But, it was very sad and heartbreaking and, super touching. But, it just goes to show you that you cannot trust everybody. You can't be so nice to everybody, because everybody doesn't have your best interest. But, yeah, that is the story of Jamie Stice and the crazy ass cunty Kathy that cut her baby out and tried to take it as hers. And it's just like, people said, like, she was smart, she was conniving, she was manipulating, but she wasn't smart, because why would you take the baby to the hospital with the damn organ still attached? Dumb. Like, girl. Anywho. But yeah, like I said, this is the story of Jamie Stice. Yeah. Let me see. I'm just going to be filing in this little part. I guess I can tell you that. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you all for watching. And let me know what you want to hear next. Because I'm taking recommendations. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't like the story, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to just tell y'all that. But I would like recommendations. Even though I know what I'm going to do next. But yeah. Thank you for watching, and have a blessed rest of your day. Bye-bye.